adamantium claws, a healing factor that won't let him die, and the most savage, blood-soaked combat PlayStation has ever shown. After years of leaks, lawsuits, and one of the biggest hacks in gaming history, Marvel's Wolverine is finally real, and it finally has a release date. This is everything you need to know. Let's go. So let's start with the basics, because they matter. Marvel's Wolverine is being made by Insomniac Games. Yeah, the exact same studio behind Marvel's Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, and that pedigree is the single most important thing about this game. Insomniac didn't just make good Marvel games, they made some of the best-selling, highest-rated superhero games ever, and they did it by nailing two things: fluid, satisfying combat, and a story that actually makes you care. Spider-Man 2 sold over 10 million copies. So when this same team gets their hands on the most violent X-Men of all time, with no kid-friendly restrictions holding them back, that's a big deal. This is a full collaboration between Insomniac, Marvel Games, and Sony. It's a PlayStation 5 exclusive, built from the ground up for PS5. No PS4 version, and Sony has flat out confirmed there will be no PC version, ever. The release date? Mark your calendar, September 15th, 2026. The standard edition runs $69.99. Pre-orders are already live, and this is a single-player, story-driven adventure rated M for mature. And trust me, it earns that rating. Now, the story. This isn't an adaptation of a movie or a comic you've already read. It's an original story built just for this game. You play as James Logan Howlett, and the setup hits hard. Logan once walked away from a mutant group called Team X, a crew dedicated to protecting their own kind. But he gets pulled back in when mutants start getting hunted down and captured by the Reavers, a militia of cybernetic, gun-for-hire mercenaries. So at its core, this is a rescue mission. But Insomniac is calling it emotionally charged, which, knowing Logan's history of loss and rage, probably means they're going to put him through hell. And honestly, that's exactly the Wolverine story we've always wanted. But let's be real. You're not here for a hug, you're here for the claws. So let's talk combat, because this is where the game looks absolutely insane. If you played the Spider-Man games, you know Insomniac's combat is fast, flashy, and easy to pick up. But Wolverine is a completely different animal. Where Spider-Man was about web-zipping around enemies and never touching the ground, Wolverine is brutal, grounded, and up close. Think less acrobatics, more carving people apart. Wolverine fights using special moves the developers call techniques, stuff like the tornado spin and the bull rush, and every hit, every parry, every kill builds up a meter called rage. And here's the genius part. You get to choose what to do with that rage. Spend it on stronger, deadlier attacks, or pour it into your healing factor to literally stitch yourself back together mid-fight and survive damage that would kill anyone else. That risk versus reward loop is the heart of the whole combat system. Do you go all in on offense or play it safe and heal? Every fight becomes a gamble, but push your rage too far and you unleash the showstopper, Rage Tier 3. The entire screen drains to black and white, and the only color left is the red of the blood. It's directly inspired by Marvel's Black, White, and Blood comics, and it is one of the most stylish things I've seen in an action game in years. And it's not just button mashing. Wolverine can stalk enemies, ambush them from above, and pick them apart with fast, fluid, brutal claw combos. There's a clear stealth layer too, letting you thin out a group before things go loud. Then there's the set piece everyone's talking about. A high-speed motorcycle chase where Logan tears down a highway, slashing tires, taking out trucks, and throwing enemies clean off the road. It's the kind of cinematic, handcrafted moment Insomniac built their entire reputation on. And Logan's not alone. The gameplay reveal confirmed some massive X-Men. Jean Grey shows up, wiping out entire groups of enemies with her telekinesis, and she actually sets up opportunities for you to land critical strikes, so she's part of the combat, not just a cutscene. We also got Mystique, the shapeshifter, and the one fight every fan wanted: Sabretooth, Logan's oldest, nastiest rival. If you know the comics, you know that rivalry runs deep, and this game looks ready to pay it off. And with Team X in the mix, the door is wide open for even more mutant cameos that Insomniac is clearly keeping under wraps. Okay, Now, for the part of this story that is genuinely wild, because Marvel's Wolverine had one of the rockiest paths to release we have ever seen. Let me walk you through the timeline. The game was first announced way back in 2021. Then, for years, almost total silence. And then came the disaster. In December 2023, Insomniac Games got hit by a ransomware attack from a group called Risida. The hackers demanded a $2 million ransom. Insomniac refused to pay, so the hackers retaliated by dumping over 1.6 terabytes of stolen data online, more than 1.3 million internal files. And buried in that leak? Development screenshots of Wolverine, story roadmaps, character art, the contract with Marvel, internal messages, even employees' passport information, which is genuinely awful for the people who work there. The leak also revealed the budget. Sony was reportedly spending over $120 million on this game. So the version you're seeing today survived a massive cyber attack, a fully leaked roadmap, and a delay, and it still came out swinging this hard. Honestly, that's kind of remarkable, and it makes this reveal feel like a real comeback story. So what do you actually get if you buy in? Pre-orders are live now, and like most big PlayStation games, expect the usual split. A standard edition at $69.99 and almost certainly a deluxe or digital deluxe tier with bonuses like early access, extra suits, and in-game skill points. If this follows the Spider-Man playbook, the premium suits and cosmetic packs will be a big part of it. My advice? Don't pre-order on hype alone. We're still a few months out, so wait for reviews before you drop the money, no matter how good that gameplay looked. And let's be honest about what we still don't know, because there's a lot. We don't know how long the campaign is, we don't know if there's an open world like Spider-Man, or if it's a more linear, level-based experience, though the set pieces hint at something tightly designed. We don't know the full roster of X-Men and villains. And we don't know who's voicing Logan, which, for a character this iconic, is a huge question mark. Expect Insomniac and PlayStation to drip-feed all of this over the summer, leading up to launch. So keep it locked here, because we'll cover every single drop. But it hasn't all been smooth, and this is where the internet gets loud. Because the moment that gameplay dropped, the discourse exploded. The biggest flashpoint? Jean Grey's redesign. A lot of fans went straight to social media to complain about how she looks. Sound familiar? It's basically the same redesign debate we keep seeing with big games lately. There were also complaints about the studio Sweet Baby Inc. being involved, which is its own whole online war. Some players pushed back on the stealth mechanics, arguing that an unstoppable killing machine like Wolverine shouldn't be sneaking around in the shadows. And of course, PC players are furious about that never-on-PC confirmation. Oh, and just before the showcase, Insomniac trolled everyone with a fake delay tease, GTA 6 style, that briefly sent fans into a panic before revealing the gameplay. So yeah, the hype is real, but so is the drama. So, the big question, is Marvel's Wolverine a day one buy? Look, it's the studio that nailed Spider-Man, it's got a brutal and genuinely fresh combat system, real X-Men, an original story, and a confirmed date that's actually close. On paper, this is shaping up to be one of the biggest PlayStation exclusives of the generation. The controversies are loud, but most of them are about the noise around the game, not the game itself. We'll find out for sure on September 15th. What about you? Are you buying day one, or are you waiting for reviews? Drop your verdict in the comments because we actually read them. And if you want fast, no-nonsense gaming news every single day, news, rumors, releases, the whole signal, subscribe to Game Signal. We'll see you in the next one.